If you thought the rally up to 290 was something, you ain't seen nothing yet. Now, in previous videos, we shared how XRP looked prime for a pullback, and recently XRP not only pulled back to $1.90 for almost a 35% loss, but we are probably getting close to a local low. Now, the reason I shared I believe we were in for a bit of a pullback was because of this red candle right here on a 4-hour time frame. Because as you can see here, this was on the South Korea news where they had martial law, and you had this huge red sell candle. And this is what created for an environment where you started getting a pullback below local lows. And now we have a new intermediate term downtrend. You have a series of lower highs and lower lows. And typically you want to bet with the trend. So yes, although the long-term trend is up, the intermediate term trend is down. And it is very much possible that we could come and touch this $2 range or even get a lower low one last time. However, here is the thing. Once this pullback is done, and whether we get a new low or start to break back into the new high territory, a break above the $2.90 range on some expanding volume will lead us to XRP Valhalla. Now, exactly how soon that will come, nobody knows, but here's the good news. The majority of leverage in the system has been flushed, which is actually healthy if you want a crypto to build a strong support before going on to make new highs. This is essentially like when a person, me or you, go underwater and hold our breath for a long period of time. The longer we hold our breath, yes, we can continue to do it for maybe a little bit longer, but it pays a lot to go to the surface, get a long, deep breath of fresh air, and then go back under for a new record. Well, right here, we have the XRP USDT chart on Binance. And as you can see here, again, this is that major move based on that South Korean news. That said, we've had this intermediate term downtrend. And in that same time frame, we've seen open interest or contracts decline, which means less and less people are taking bets in this current time frame, alongside the fact that we've had far greater long liquidations. This is basically a fancy way of saying that anyone that was over leveraged long or buying into new highs got liquidated, and so these players have been cashed out, and that's what caused the price action to dump. This, of course, is made even better when you look at some on-chain analytics. For example, this green line is the price of XRP we're getting really familiar with. And really what I want to focus on is people that hold between under 1 to 100,000 XRP. This is what I would consider our retail investors. Anyone who holds between 1 to 10 million XRP, these are major investors and whales. And then finally, we have our institutional players with over 100 million XRP to a billion XRP. And as you can see here, the yellow line from this dump right here in the price has consistently been climbing. So yes, even retail investors are starting to add to their bags and portfolios. You have this red line. And since the local lows down at under 74 cents, you can see major investors and whales have been accumulating in mass. This red line is pumping hard. And then finally, even the institutional players, the people with the most money, since the local low on XRP of about $2.20 some cents, have consistently been adding to their bag. All very bullish signs for XRP. However, the road to a new all-time high might not come without a few road bumps and some volatility along the way, which I'll be sure to cover in this video. And more specifically, how the futures markets and day traders may be gunning to make XRP dump one last time before it's ready to begin its new trend to the upside. But no worries, my friend, because if you're watching this video, I'll guide you through the next couple of moves and what I believe is potentially going to happen before the next move to new all-time highs. Now, with that said, nothing I share in this video is intended to be financial advice. These are simply my opinions, and this video is for educational and informational purposes only. But yes, of course, I'll be covering the price action, I'll be covering my opinion, and I'll even be covering the latest news surrounding the RLUSD stablecoin from Ripple and how this will solidify Ripple and XRP on an institutional level, which will provide more access for retail investors worldwide to enter the crypto space and use XRP in virtually all transactions, and how previous partnerships with MasterCard will now be brought to the forefront, as an XRP spot ETF is extremely likely to be approved now that it's the fourth largest crypto by market cap and likely to be the first major spot ETF approval after Bitcoin and Ethereum, because there is nothing else that touches it right now, not even Solana. In other words, this will not only open the floodgates for trillions to flow into XRP, the XRP ledger, any cryptos inside of it, RLUSD, and of course, set the stage for a new floor price level far above current daily prices. So we're going to cover all of this in this video. And as always, if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the wealthiest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Hello and welcome back to the channel, my friend. If you're new here, my name is Paul and you can find me at PaulyDeFi on Twitter or X. Now, really quickly, I want to dive into some news surrounding the XRP spot ETFs. And no, this is not directly new news, but heck, anything within the last week is apparently old news for crypto, but I am going to relate this back to the current news that we're seeing right now. So that said, WisdomTree filed for a spot XRP ETF with the SEC. Now, for those of you guys who always hear this but don't really know what that means, this is essentially an exchange traded fund or a product that someone like WisdomTree, a fund manager, would offer for their institutional clients. So people like me and you maybe want to buy XRP, but we want to do it in our current account with WisdomTree in a regulated manner. So we approach WisdomTree and say, we want to buy XRP, but we don't want to do it in all this DeFi way. We don't want to create a Coinbase account, move all of our funds and money, worry about all the tax issues and situations. We want to do it in a regulated manner where you, WisdomTree, have to actually buy the spot underlying asset, XRP, and basically hold it or custody it, and then offer this ETF to us, which essentially tracks XRP. In other words, back in January of 2024, the Bitcoin spot ETF was approved for BlackRock, and that's what made Bitcoin pump to a new all-time high price of like $74,000. And BlackRock became one of the largest holders of Bitcoin in the world, and it was the fastest growing ETF in history. That said, we could see a lot of the same type of things happen for XRP, as now Bitwise, Canary Capital, 21 shares, and of course WisdomTree have all filed for spot XRP ETFs. And I think this is extremely likely to occur early into 2025, as Paul Atkins is a pro-crypto lawyer and he was recently voted to be the new SEC chairman. So yes, it's extremely likely the SEC is going to drop all cases, all charges, and move forward with a pro-crypto America. And with XRP sitting at number 4 and the third largest crypto by market cap that isn't a stablecoin, it's extremely likely that there's going to be some insane adoption, which makes the timing for the launch of the RLUSD stablecoin almost perfect. And over again, people have been really excited for this stablecoin because the stablecoin market is ripe for some competitors that aren't USDT, considering they aren't 100% transparent with their reserves. In other words, if there is a bank run, there could be a collapse in USDT, considering they aren't one-for-one collateralized and arguably aren't regulated. So that said, any amount of money in the RLUSD stablecoin will be running on the XRP ledger, and all of that has to use XRP in the back end. So again, more money, more dollars, more liquidity inside of the XRP ecosystem is beneficial for not only every single DeFi token in there, but obviously XRP as well. And so the team with Ripple has been waiting for the approval from the NYDFS, which regulates the activities of insurance companies, banks, and other financial institutions in New York for their RLUSD. And now that they have the the approval or at least the nod and they're going through the process, you will hear about it from Ripple first. So if you head on over to Ripple and you don't see any news surrounding that, that means anything you are seeing online is rumors. And I've seen other rumors that are completely and totally nutty, like they are going to collateralize the RLUSD with XRP, which just simply isn't true. If you go directly to the ripple.com website, you can see that Ripple USD or RLUSD will be fully backed by segregated reserve of cash and cash equivalents. And because the NYDFS is going to be approving it, yes, it will be regulated and monitored. So they're going to be cash and cash equivalents redeemable 1 for US dollars. So this is actually really good news. And yes, the fact that they are going for regulatory approval means that XRP, XRPL, and RLUSD have a fighting shot at overtaking a very large market giant like USDT over the next 5 to 10 years. Now, big players like MasterCard, which own the majority of the credit card processing industry, have started a CBDC partner program and has collaborated with Ripple, as it knows the future is bright for players like Ripple that have some of the best tech in the blockchain space. That said, their first set of partners were Ripple, Consensus, Fluency, Edemia, and a few other players. However, they considered Ripple for the launch of the first national stablecoin issued by government in collaboration with the Republic of Palau, which already happened. So we know that if MasterCard is choosing Ripple and they actually get things done, again, you can check the information surrounding the Republic of Palau for yourself and their CBDC, then it's very much possible that MasterCard and Ripple are also going to be changing the game for the XRP debit card that they offer. And this is going to create for an environment where retail investors are truly going to be integrated into the XRP ecosystem and using it for virtually everything. As this collaboration between Ripple and MasterCard introduced a pioneering cryptocurrency debit card to the XRP ecosystem, designed to enable XRP purchases at retail outlets. It promises to bring convenience of traditional debit cards to cryptocurrency. Now, the reason I'm sharing this information is not the fact that it's brand new information, it's the fact that MasterCard was probably ahead of the curve, as other players like Visa and then major banks and institutions are going to also want to adopt XRP when that XRP spot ETF is filed and approved in early 2025. This is going to create some dynamic and explosive price action. Now, that said, when it comes to major players like Visa and MasterCard, because they own the majority, I believe upwards of 70 to 80% of all credit card processing and transactions in the United States, they are essentially a monopoly. Now, this is great news when you talk about integrating things like XRP inside of their ecosystems and among their debit cards. However, this is typically terrible news for smaller businesses, people like me and you, because we get stuck being charged way more for our credit card transactions that we do inside of our own businesses. So much so that back in 2005, there was a class action lawsuit that began and was initiated by merchants or people like me and you who have small businesses. And we basically claimed that Visa and MasterCard, along with other banks, colluded, because they're monopolies, right, to set fees and rules for credit card transactions that were anti-competitive. In other words, we have antitrust laws. They violated those antitrust laws. And after a period of almost 20 years, they lost that lawsuit, and now there is a $5.54 billion settlement. However, small businesses actually have to go and claim a portion of that settlement. In other words, if you were in business between the years of 2004 to 2019 and anyone processed a credit card through Visa or MasterCard or a debit card, then you were likely overcharged and you can take advantage of this claim. Now, the reality is you don't currently have to be in business anymore. That business could have gone bankrupt. However, you can file a claim and potentially get money back. Now, their actions were so brass and blatant that they even had to testify before Congress, and here is Senator Hawley raking them over the coals.
Yeah, Senator, we have volume discounts that we offer to some merchants. I suspect Walmart is one of them. And, I don't believe that it's commercially unreasonable to get an arrangement where in exchange for more volume, a merchant can qualify for lower rates?
Well, I'm sure it's not commercially unreasonable for Walmart, or certainly it's in their financial interest and in yours, but I doubt it's in Mr. Callahan's financial interest. And my question to you, Mr. Callahan, is when you've got Walmart and other major competitors getting charged much less than you are, why in the world would you stick with these guys? I mean, why is it that small businesses continue to use Visa and MasterCard when you're getting charged so much more?
It's in my opinion, it's a matter of convenience for the customer, and customers matter to our business.
Maybe is it because that Visa and MasterCard are effectively monopolies? They control 80% of the market?
Certainly part of the
80% of the market? I'm just having a hard time understanding, Mr. Sheedy and Ms. Kirkpatrick, you have a business model. You're making over 50% profit margin. You are able to give the shaft to small businesses. Estimated cost to Missouri businesses from these fees is $1.5 billion. That's with a B, $billion a year. Why aren't all of these businesses running away from this model? Because they don't have a choice, because you control so much of the market. This is classic monopolistic behavior. And yet your testimony here today is you don't want any competition. You have 80% of the market, but you don't want any more competition. I'm having a hard time finding that position defensible.
Now, here is what's absolutely insane. He's talking about $1+ billion just for businesses in Missouri. And that's per year. We're not talking about all 50 states. Yes, the majority of small businesses have been taken advantage of, and that's why they finally lost this class action lawsuit. And now there's essentially a big old reserve of cash that they have to pay out, but you can only do it if you file a claim. And the way you would do it is by hopping on over to the link in the description below. It's going to be the very first link that you see for carsettlement.org/bullrunners. But you can just click the link. You don't even have to type it in. If you were in business between 2004 to 2019, and at any point in time you processed a credit card transaction through Visa or MasterCard, all you have to do is fill this form out. It takes literally no more than probably a couple of minutes. And in 53 days, the settlement ends. So you're going to want to do that sooner rather than later. This will cost you absolutely nothing. In other words, it's a contingency basis. They don't actually charge you anything unless they recover compensation for you. So this is essentially free money that you didn't think you had. This is a completely white glove service. They take care of all of the hard work, and they're lawyers that are experts in getting the most money out of this claim for you. And already we've helped a stupid amount of businesses get money back. Here are some examples where we actually had to blur out information from some of the people that we've helped. So for example, this business processed about $382,000 during those years and got back about $4,800. Then you have another business that processed $2.67 million through those years and is getting back $39,000. Here's a person that's getting $1,300 back, $21,000 back, $18,000 back. And in this example, $64 million was processed between 2004 and 2019, and they are going to get a whopping $1.12 million back. This is very real. And if you think you were even in business, just file that form and see if you're eligible, because this is free money that Visa and MasterCard took from small businesses for essentially operating a monopoly. And again, one last time, you can find the link in the description below, fill out this form, and let's get back into it. Okay, so let's dive back into the price action and what I think is going to happen next. We currently have a local low between the $2 down to 190 cent range. And the reason I believe something like that happened is because that is a perfect touchdown at that 20 EMA, and arguably even a wick just below the 20 EMA in a massive and strong uptrend from a daily time frame. However, currently on a daily time frame, we're also struggling to break back out. So let me zoom in a little bit further. Let's put it on a 4-hour time frame. Let's take this trend line now and draw that trend line straight through this zone here. And as you can see here, a break above this trend line, as long as it's not some sort of a bull trap where people get bullish because we break above it only to break right back down for a new local low, then we'll be in a good area for a new breakout to an all-time high. So let me put a new line right there at about 286. Now again, I like to bet with the trend. However, I don't think XRP is ready after this type of a move to break out just yet. Again, we have a series of lower lows and lower highs, and we failed to recently break above here. So I would reasonably assume we're either going to get a double bottom into this range or potentially even a new low below this low, because this would be the intermediate term downtrend, even with some volatility that looks like that. Now, one of the reasons that I believe this is going to happen is if you come on over to CoinGlass, you go to the liquidation map, then you come right down to the XRP chart, you click XRP, you make sure that it's on a 7-day time frame. You can see right here, we have a bunch of futures contracts from day traders that I found is pretty accurate. So let me go ahead and explain this real quick. I'm going to get rid of Binance, OKX, and Bybit, and we're just going to focus on the red zone right here and the green zone. Anything into the green zone means these are short liquidations or leverage on the short side. Whenever you get a big green area that's far greater and far bigger than the red area over here, which is long liquidations, this simply means that the majority of people are short, even though it's green. So it feels kind of counterintuitive. But what I found is whenever you have far more of a cliff on one side, that tends to be the direction the market moves in. So this is almost like a fortune telling indicator. And I really stand by that. The more that I've used this indicator, the more I've realized just how strong it is. As you can see here, we are going to get a stupid amount of short liquidations at the $2.70 range. Whereas over here, you're going to get a stupid amount of long liquidations, or people who are long and buying the market right now that get liquidated, or basically their entire position is taken away at the $2.06 range. However, we have double the amount of money and volume on the shorts. So that tells me that the short sellers are far stronger right now. And again, I don't want to bet against the trend. So when you see a trend that looks like this, I think we still have another leg down, even if we experience some range or level of volatility. That said, it also gives anyone who is looking for a better opportunity to invest or enter XRP more of a shot. So I'm looking at that 3-day time frame now. I'm going to remove those drawings, and what I'm really focused on is another touchdown, or at least some level of support with a bullish engulfing candle down here at the $1.90 range, and even potentially the $1.57 or 47-cent range. So if you were worried about getting another opportunity to invest into XRP before it breaks out for some insane and nutty all-time highs with all of the bullish news coming out and a potential spot ETF on XRP from players like BlackRock and these major partnerships with Visa and MasterCard, which are essential monopolies, then you might have another shot to enter at a cheaper price. Now, the good news is, and I stand by this, when we looked at how often or how many people are accumulating at just about every range, whether they're retail investors, whether they're professional investors or institutional investors, everyone is accumulating XRP, even though the day traders might be short selling it. And on the same note, since the first high of $1.11, you can see that XRP from this purple line has been removed from exchanges as much as we've been trending up. So as more and more people withdraw from exchanges, and as all of these other players continue to add to their bags, this is all very, very bullish news. It just means we might see a bit more downside first. So if you've been waiting for a better opportunity to invest, this might be your shot before we take that moonshot to new all-time highs. That said, if you haven't already, go to bullrunners.com. You can also find that link in the description below, as well as go and file that claim to see if you're eligible to get any money back whatsoever if you were in business between 2004 to 2019. However, over on bullrunners.com, we have Altcoin Pro University. Now, this is truly beautiful. Currently, we have 909 members. Your time is truly running out, ladies and gentlemen. Once we hit 1,000 members, the bonuses run dry. Now, on the other side, you're going to get hundreds of hours of expert curated classes. So these are pros that teach you how to think like a pro, how to trade like a pro, how to do technical analysis like a pro, how to do all the stuff that I just showed you. You can learn inside of this university. Alongside, we share all sorts of altcoin picks that do 5x, 10x, 50x, and sometimes even 100x. We show you how to put your crypto to work and get the best DeFi yields on the planet. In other words, your money is now working for you and earning interest for you. And then we also share all sorts of airdrop alerts. You get to connect connect with all sorts of community members. You get to hop on live calls with us and ask questions to get those answers that maybe you've been itching to get that you simply can't get on YouTube. But this is probably the best way for you to become a crypto millionaire in 2025. I like to call this the Costco of crypto memberships, except this one, you don't spend a ton of money, you actually learn how to earn it. So right now the price is $97 a month, and on January 1st, we are going to be raising the price to $197 a month. But if you start before then you are locked in at that $97 a month rate. You are grandfathered in for good. And the reason we're raising the price is we just can only service so many members at once. And we found usually the cheaper it is, the less serious people are. We want a community full of very serious people, and arguably people that are going to show up to these calls and are hungry to learn. So this creates for a far better class-like environment. And more often than not, this is like a college education, except here we teach you how to actually profit in markets, especially as we're on the precipice of a new bull run. So again, if that sounds interesting to you, you don't want to miss out, you don't want to pay more, and arguably you don't want to miss the bonuses once we hit 1,000 members. I mean, this thing is really cooking. We've really been moving. This has been about 3.5 weeks and we're already here. By month 1, we are definitely going to have 1,000 members, and you're no longer going to get access to that 1,000 founding member mark. So if that sounds interesting, go to bullrunners.com. Link is in the description below. Thanks so much for watching the video, my friend. If you learned something new, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Oh, and also follow me on Twitter at PaulyDeFi. Till then, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.